All right, so compliments. A few years ago, if someone gave me a compliment, I would almost certainly deny it up and down because I almost certainly thought that most people who complimented me were being nice. I have since gotten a little bit better at that, although sometimes I will still deny things because I think people are just being nice. But I mean, I guess I've always had self esteem issues, I've always had body issues. The two kind of, you know, go hand in hand. Um, but I never believed good things about myself, like especially a few years ago, I just would not believe it because I just thought people were being nice. Um, if someone would say like, "Oh, you have a pretty smile," or "Oh, you have pretty hair," blah blah, and I would be like, "Oh, stop that, no," and kind of in a playful way, but at the same time, I was like, "Oh, that's nice of them to say." Because it's not true, but it's nice of them to say. Um, I guess because of the self esteem issues and the body issues and everything. But like I said, I've gotten better, but sometimes I will still do that. Um, and because I still have trouble believing good things about myself, um, I have always had trouble with that. It's just always been kind of something that I struggle with. So when people give me compliments, it's like, I'm so awkward. Thank you. I think I'm sorry. I'm awkward. So, yeah, I'm awkward right now. But yeah, I have a hard time taking compliments. I can say thank you and play along, but then in my mind, I'm like, is that cocky? Am I being conceited by saying thank you? Does that mean like, is it like the mean girls thing? Like, so you agree? You think you're really pretty? You're being nice, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to handle this kind of social interaction. It's all so new, but I mean, I guess I can understand both sides of the spectrum because I'm slowly becoming more comfortable with myself, very slowly. It's a process, um, because it stems from, never really feeling good about myself. And that is because of the whole body image thing. I've never been a skinny girl, and I will never be a skinny girl because that's just my body type. I mean, I can lose weight. I have lost weight, and I'm not skinny. I don't really want to be skinny, but that's just me. And for the longest time I had a hard time believing, the good guys who would say beauty comes in every size and every shape and every color, and that's true, I believe, but it's so hard to believe that when you're constantly bombarded with images of pretty girls and pretty men who are chiseled and perfect and tall and slim and blonde and pretty and have makeup and they're perfect, and maybe they're airbrushed but they're still perfect, and you look at all that on TV and online and in magazines and in the movies, and you're like, hmm hmm well, something isn't right here. They are pretty, they are beautiful, and what am I? Not putting any blame on the media, let me say. Um, it's kind of a two sided blame job because the media puts these images out and they kind of have this stereotypical pretty person that you see everywhere. It's like the size 5, cute, pretty, flawless. Or for men, it's like the chiseled, hairless, stubble with the flick of hair on the forehead. You've seen these people, but they are putting these images out and subconsciously kind of making you think you must look this way. And then you have shows like The Biggest Loser and those other shows. There was a show on a few years ago where people competed for plastic surgery, which, it's not on anymore, I don't think. Probably because we all realized how messed up that truly was. I hope that's why. But it's stuff like this where we're triggered and we're trained to think I'm not good enough. This body that I have that I haven't done anything to is not good enough. It needs to be thinner, it needs to be taller, it needs to be airbrushed, it needs to be perfect. And you realize I'm never going to get there. And then there's this sinking, horrible feeling of, I'm so ugly. And I'm sure I'm not alone in thinking this. I'm sure a lot of people have gone down this road and have hit this point. And I'm not saying it's the media's fault. I'm just saying they put subconscious images out there and people interpret them the way they're going to interpret them. Some people don't even care about it. I am trying to get myself to that point. But it's not just that, it's other people, because other people are triggered this way, so we're all triggered this way, and we all have this sensory overload, and we're all looking and watching the same types of people, and so we all get this imprinted in our brains that, okay, we have to look like this, we have to find people that look like this, and we have to get together, and we have to make really handsome, pretty couples, and then we have to make really handsome, pretty babies, and have really cool jobs with kids and a nice house, and it goes, it goes, it goes. But anyway, I digress, as I do. The point being is that between that, the whole media overload thing, and other people absorbing the media overload thing and, placing it on me, mostly happened in my younger years, as it does because children are horrible when you're different. Between all of that stuff, I have a lot of issues pertaining to my body and myself. Like I said, slow process, but I'm trying to get over it. So when people give me compliments, especially on my physical appearance, I have a really hard time accepting it. But I remind myself, and you should too, take a minute out of your day, remind yourself that you are beautiful, and that it doesn't matter what you see in the magazines, doesn't matter what you see on TV, doesn't matter how many images of perfect people you are bombarded with, blah, blah, blah. You are bombarded with, because it's going to be out there. It's out there now, it's been out there, it's going to be out there forever, until, we wise up and stop doing that to ourselves. But in the meantime, you're going to see it. I'm going to see it. It's going to be there. And you can either, look at it and let it get to you, like I did. And like I sometimes still do. It's hard when it's everywhere. Or you can just say, you know what? That is society's weirdo standard for beauty. And they have, the cookie cutter model shape. And that's their idea of beauty. Fine. Okay? That is fashion's idea of beauty. That is society's idea of beauty. Fine. My idea of beauty is different. And my personal idea of beauty is very different. Because I know people that magazines and movies would call ugly because they're not to the physical standard of beauty. But, I know people that radiate this kindness and this beautifulness from their hearts and their personalities, and that just kind of makes physical appearance irrelevant. And it's like that Roald Dahl thing where, if you are lovely, then you will look lovely. It's not really about the body that you're in. People who are model beautiful can be really ugly if they're really nasty people. So that's my perception anyways. That's my viewpoint on that. So as I will keep doing, as you should keep doing, remind yourself that you are beautiful. Take a minute to look in the mirror when you can, when you have a free minute. Just look in the mirror. Don't analyze, because for the longest time when I stood in front of the mirror, I analyzed everything. And I was nitpicking and just making myself feel horrible. So next time you look in the mirror, just look at yourself and think of the good things, not even physically. Just remind yourself, I'm a good person. And if you're not a good person, try to be a good person. So that way we can all be beautiful together, regardless of physical appearance. And the people that love you, the people that really care about you, are going to love you, regardless of the package that you come in. So be happy, be healthy, be beautiful, because you already are. The end.